Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Emily and welcome to part 2 of the NaNoWriMo vlogs. NaNoWriMo being National Novel Writing Month, where you are challenged to write a 50,000 word book or 50,000 words of your book. I'm a NaNoWriMo rebel this year because I'm writing 50,000 words right in the middle of my fantasy romance book, so I did not start a new book for once. I am challenging myself to do at least an hour of writing on it every day. Man, it's windy. I'm trying to do an hour of writing on it every day. I'm giving it my best shot at doing it in the morning and trying to get in a writing routine in the morning, but sometimes this book just feels like a write at night book. Can't tell you why. I'm also trying to work a little bit on the short comic I'm planning, even if that little bit of work every day is just thinking about it in my brain and making sure I spend a little bit of time actually paying attention to that story, because I got so many stories going on. I gotta dedicate time to think of the little weird ones. I am also trying to line edit 1 to 2 chapters of In Dying Starlight every day. In Dying Starlight is my finished sci-fi series, but I'm sending it to my line editor for an extra edit in January, so I need to have the first 4 books line edited one more time, and I'm a little bit behind on that part of the goal. I've read this book 8,000 times. I don't want to look at it anymore. I love it so much, but good grief, I don't want to edit it anymore. Especially the first 4, I've edited even more than the last ones, so we'll get there. The first 15 days of NaNoWriMo, I did 29,200 words. I kept up with the hour a day on most days. Some days were a little bit less. I've got a little chart going on. This is my first 15 days. Today is now Friday, November 17th. Yesterday I did 1,000 words, and it was about a half an hour worth of writing. It was 400 words on the fantasy romance and 600 words I was plotting the outline of the comic. Definitely worked on the comic yesterday. Didn't do the editing of In Dying Starlight. But that's how we got so far. I am writing this morning. I've written 700 words this morning so far, but I paused to do this video. I am about almost 80,000 words into this fantasy romance book. I'm finishing up part 2 probably today. There will be 3 parts to the book. I have no idea if the 3rd part is going to be the longest part. I would assume so. So I don't think I'm finishing this book during NaNoWriMo, but I'm putting a nice little dent in it. I've done, not including today's word count, I've done 30,200 words as of yesterday. So I'm a little bit nicely ahead. I'm like 2,000 words ahead of where I need to be. It is chilly. My goodness, we got some weird weather. Is this a guy's jacket? Yeah, it is. But it is really warm and it wasn't super expensive. I don't really think I have anything else to mention right now. If you're keeping up on the Kickstarter, everything is here. Hold on. I can always talk more, so I'm working on fulfillment for this. Well, I'm not working on fulfillment yet, because I have everything but the damn art prints. So, I have 2 art prints, and I wanted to get foil on them, yes? One of them, I've gotten 2 rounds of proofs so far, and I've just given up. This one, the foil looks really cool. I don't know if you can tell, but there is foil on it, and it looks really nice. I like it. Both proofs turned out great, so I'm getting the copies of these the way I want them. The horse print. It looks kinda okay. It actually looks a little bit better in this camera than it does in real life, but the foil just refused to come out correctly. It's got this weird, like, half foil and then half just like a weird ghost of an image, and then when you look at it straight on, it doesn't look good at all. So after 2 rounds of proofs that take over a week to get to me each, and this is the last thing I need to fulfill the Kickstarter, I'm just gonna get a regular art print of this with no foil, because it doesn't look good. Neither one looked good. This did the same thing, and it just kind of, the light is catching it just so in the camera that it actually looks kind of cool, but it doesn't look this good in person, and it only looks good if you hold it in person at like a very certain angle in the lighting, and I don't think art prints should only look good if you hold it a specific way, especially when they're costing me a ton of money. So this I'm getting with the foil because it looks good, both proofs. This I'm not getting with the foil. It's just going to be a regular copy. And am I disappointed? Yeah. This happened with the bookmarks too. They would not get the foil correct, and so I just ordered regular bookmarks. I don't know what's hard, but it's fine. Everybody's getting these for free, basically, so it's okay. So that's my annoyance of the day. The fulfillment part of it. The manufacturing part of this is not going terribly well. I'm gonna do fewer stretch goals next time. They are such a pain, and they never go well, and they just cost a lot of money for never going well. I'm gonna stretch out my stretch goals way farther next time. Just don't be like me and get all excited about the swag, and then it never turns out the way you want it. But the enamel pins are here, and I know they're gonna look good because the last time I worked with this company, they looked good. They're just at the UPS store. I have to go drive down and get them in a day or so. I'm just gonna get back to writing. It's fine. At least this book is going really well, and I think yesterday I sat down and finished the outline for the comic, which was what was tripping me up. I needed a bit of plot to wrap my little emotional story around, and I needed the world building to make sense when the story is brand new in my head, and making the world building make sense while the story is brand new is the hardest part for me, and I cannot pants this. You know, I'm kind of like a headlight writer, as they say. I do outline, but in general, I write as far as I can see in the headlights, and then once I get forward, I can see more, and that's generally on a scene-by-scene basis how I write. But this is a comic. It's drawing, and it's panels. I need to have this all planned out ahead of time. Even though it's a short comic, I'm gonna aim for like 20 pages or less. I gotta have this planned out, so it has to make sense from the beginning. I can't figure out the logic of it as I'm going through it because art takes me so much time. I'm trying to avoid having to redraw any panels. So I've got the basic plot, some notes about world building, and then I actually pulled up like a 7-point structure on outlining because I haven't written a short story in a long time, and I also haven't had to make something coherent in the outlining stage for a long time, and it was tripping up my brain. So I had the 7-point plot structure pulled up, and I filled that in, which is the hook for the story, the first plot turn, the first pitch point, the midpoint of the story, the second pitch point, the second plot turn, and the resolution. If you're curious, I just Googled the format for this, and the first thing that came up was Readsy, and I was using that as like an example in my head. So if you want to read more about that, Readsy has an article on the 7-point plot structure. And so I finished filling that out yesterday. I got like 800 words of world building and plot. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually script it out in a comic script format. So like this panel is going to have this thing in it and also this bit of dialogue. Then after that, I'm probably going to sketch out some styles of doing panels. Like I've got so many things saved on Pinterest and stuff like that, inspirations and things, and I'm probably going to do bunches of sketches of little different ways I can format the pages without even the sketches of what's happening. Just like, you could do this, so the panels go here in this way, and so I have like a little catalog of different things I can pick from because I just sort of can tell that might trip me up at some point. So I'm going to do just like quick little sketches of different ways panels can be laid out. I'm gonna do some little character sketches, and then I'll probably just get started working on it. I have a goal of finishing all the like pre-press work on, not pre-press, that's printing. All the prep work, I guess, is just the word I'm looking for. All the prep work before the beginning of December. And I kind of want to make a little challenge for myself to actually finish the actual comic part in like 3 months or something. I need deadlines. If I don't give myself deadlines, I just sort of, I'll take too long and then I'll get discouraged that I'm taking too long. So I need to put a time frame on it, and I might like make myself a little YouTube challenge on it. Like, I'm gonna try to make a comic in 3 months or something, because that will help me stay accountable and will kind of like trick my brain into, oh, there's a deadline. Because there is no true deadline, but there also needs to be a deadline, you know? Knowing you guys will be disappointed if I fail, that'll be like enough of a self-imposed deadline, I think. I will attempt, I will consider. But yeah, I kind of want to get all the preliminary stuff done by the end of this month. I think I talked enough about that. I've been talking for 15 minutes. I'm gonna hate editing this clip. I'm gonna shut up. I've been talking too much and I gotta get back to writing. Happy NaNoWriMo, that's all I got. Goodbye. It's Monday, November 20th. What am I doing? I don't know, I'm staring at Discord. I just wrapped up talking about Thistle, so you guys are going to see a vlog for that. Maybe before you see this vlog. I don't know. There's there's like 3 really long clips I have to edit. So where am I? I'm at 35,000 words for the month, nice and even. I would like to mention to you guys, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, when I write, I just like round down to the nearest 100, you know, so I try to finish my thoughts out around an even number just so I can round down a few words. I don't know why, I just really like it. So like when I say there's an even 3,500, like I probably wrote, I wrote 600 words yesterday, I probably wrote like 610 and then rounded it down to 600. I'm weird and I just like my even 100 numbers. So yeah, yesterday I wrote 600 words. I didn't really keep track of the hours because 300 of that was working on the fantasy romance just because I wanted to work on it a little bit. But the other 300 was I was turning the outline I have for the comic script into an actual script. So there's no use in keeping track of the time for that. I think it took me like an hour. You know, to write 300 words. This is obviously not an accurate reflection of my writing pace at all. I probably spent like an hour and a half writing yesterday, but I don't really know. I did edit my 2 Undying Starlight chapters. Obviously, I worked on the comic. On Friday, I ended up writing 3,200 words over about 2 hours. That was all on the fantasy romance. Saturday, I wrote for half an hour and I got 1,000 words, and that was in the evening. I'm slowly shifting into doing this in the evening again. Even though I wanted to do it in the morning, there's something about like writing at night that's really vibing with this book, and I'm not going to argue with it. So if I write in the morning, it's because I feel like it. If I write in the evening, it's because I feel like it. At least I'm writing every day. Getting back into the habit. I'm really just trying to get my life together right now. I'm trying to get on top of things. I'm getting back into, in case you wanted to see, I'm getting back into the habit of writing, evidently. I'm doing pretty well. I'm a little bit ahead on NaNoWriMo. I'm trying to keep better track of, like, I have a quarterly to-do list, a monthly to-do list, and I've not done weekly goals for a long time, and I just set one up this morning. First time I've done weekly goals in a long time, just because I feel like I'm losing pace on certain other things that are not writing, but are writing related. I did a little bit of math, and by math, I mean I like counted the days on the calendar. Probably not going to do some more formal announcement video for this show. I'll just tell you guys now. For the comic, there's this challenge out there that is 100 days of doing comics, and I think the actual project is called like the 100-day project, and it's sort of any sort of creative project that you do for 100 days, and you have to work on it for half an hour each day, I think. And a lot of people use this to make a short comic. So I've decided I would like to do that because I do want to finish this up by the end of February, beginning of March. I might make a little Kickstarter for it just so we can have it on pretty paper, you know? I do want to sell it. I do want to show it to you guys. I want my stuff in print, you know? I have a lot of illustration goals for the year, a massive one being illustrating in Undying Starlight. That is separate of rebranding all the covers. So I want to rebrand all 12 covers. I'm getting there. And I want to pretty decently illustrate it for when I do the special edition Kickstarter next year sometime. So I have a lot of illustration goals, and I want to also make this short comic. Therefore, I need to give myself a deadline. 100 days, not that bad. I'm not done with the script yet, and the script will help me figure out how many pages it actually is, but I'm aiming for like 25 to 30 pages, which means if I worked on it every day, I could take like 2 or 3 days per page, which is very fast for me. This is a little bit of an out there challenge, but I'm determined. I want to get on top of this because when you break it down, if I wanted to do this by the end of February, starting this 100-day challenge like very, very soon is right about what I would have to do. And when you break it down into how many pages you need to do in how many days, I need to put a number on it. And now that I put a number on it, it's more a reasonable goal that I'll actually finish, you know? Just going, oh, I want to finish by February and not having a plan on how to do that, not a good idea. So if I want to finish by the last day in February, I don't really care if I finish like halfway into March, it's okay. But I'm setting my goal for last day of February, which means 100 days would be starting on Wednesday. Today, I don't know if I'm going to work on the fantasy romance because one of the things I want to do today is I want to convert my outline into a full script. I'm just doing script by pages. I'm not doing it by panel, so you know, page 1's gonna have this on it, and then when I do the thumbnail sketches, I can work it out at that point. And this can go a little bit into the start of the 100 days, but I want to do some character design, so I have the characters worked out. The next step after that would be actually starting just the rough thumbnail sketches, so you have the layout and what happens on each page before you actually start doing the artwork in a more coherent fashion. This will be a big learning curve for me. I've never done comics. I don't really have a comic style as far as like inking goes. It's probably going to be a little bit more like my style you guys have seen on my other art. I don't think it will rely heavily on line art, though I may try. I don't know. So I will make a vlog series about trying this 100-day challenge thing. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it now because we're in the middle of NaNoWriMo, and I figured I would just tell you since I'm working on the comic for NaNoWriMo. This is mostly a writing vlog. I'm 83,000 words into the fantasy romance, which means it is now longer than Under the Earth. I don't know if I said that last time, but it really is. I haven't quite finished part 2 yet because I realized I needed one more chapter to kind of transition correctly, so I finished the big scenes that I was talking about in the last couple of clips. Okay, social media. Hello, it's Wednesday, November 22nd. I'm just tired today. What did I do? Yesterday, I had a long day of writing. I technically wrote for 4 hours worth of stuff, but a lot of the in-between time was spent just like staring over the top of my computer thinking about what I was gonna write during the next sprint. So it was a lot more than 4 hours. And I was doing the comic script. I had my little outline and I was just translating that into a half reasonable script for the comic. And that was 2,000 words on that, and then I wrote 200 words on the fantasy romance just because I wanted to. I did not get Undying Starlight done yesterday. I'm so mellow right now, don't mind me, I'm just sleepy. Just remembered this morning that I have a little stack of comic books. I've never been much of a person who like buys books or comic books or anything. I had gotten these a couple years ago at like a free comic day thing at a comic book store that's like an hour away with hellish parking, or I would just go back. I have like a stack of comic books I was just looking through this morning, and most of them are Marvel stuff. There's some cute kind of, you know, definitely not Marvel. Like this one's cute. I just wanted to look at the formatting of other comics because I was curious if, like in books, if you open the page and the first page is a title page. And I decided I would like to do a title page. But perusing through these, I don't see any of them having a title page. I don't really care because it's my book and I do what I want. But I just thought these were kind of cute. This person just did like a little note to the reader on the inside cover, which I might do. That's really cute. This one's all just black and white. It's very adorable. I love the layout. And the other one that I just really like because the artwork is gorgeous is this is actually the 6th issue of this. And I think I picked it up. Wow, that's so shiny. I think I picked it up, there you go, you can see it, on the same day, but I actually had to pay for it. It wasn't a free comic book, but I just liked the art so much that I didn't care that I didn't have the rest of the story. So yeah, today's Wednesday. Today I'm gonna start doing the little 100 days of comic challenge. I'm gonna switch over and do an actual vlog. Yeah, I'm gonna read through the script again. I'm gonna send it to a couple of my friends just so they can tell me if it's coherent, and I'm gonna get started on doing some of the little sketches and like the character design stuff today. Oh, the pins came in. I knew I had something else I wanted to tell you guys. We got the pin for the little Kelpie. I love these ones so much. I think I like these pins better than the book trope one. It's so shiny. I hope you guys can see it. It's so cute. And then we got the lighthouse one. It is so tiny. I love it so much. Oh, look at it. Oh, it's fuzzy. Focus. Oh my gosh. Focus. Focus. Isn't it cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so tiny. I do need to go through them and check and see if they are all A-grade pins. Some of them were not last time, but that's normal. I gotta edit Undying Starlight today too. I didn't do it yesterday. I'm not keeping up on that. I've read this book so many times. I love the series, but like, I love it at a not having to critique it level, you know? I don't want to think about the sentence structure anymore. It's fine. We'll do it. Sunday, November 27th. You guys want to hear about my bad decision? Yeah, of course you do. So I finished part 2 of fantasy romance. It's at 84,000 words right now. And I realized that I wanted to do with this second part what I did with the first part, which is I don't want to write any more of the book. I want to go back and do a developmental edit pass on this second part to make sure it all makes sense and that I know where I'm going with part 3 in an effort to minimize screwing this up. I have to rewrite a lot of my books, and I'm trying to get to a method where I don't have to do that so much because it's very time consuming. You know, I don't want to have to rewrite my books in order for them to be decent. So I did this with part 1, and it helped part 1 a lot. You know, took part 1 from nyeh to pretty good. And so part 2 is kind of nyeh. It's good, but it's nyeh good, if that makes sense. And I'd like to just take it to pretty good. And it will also help me figure out how the pacing is going to work for the third section, which is the final section. So I'm not gonna start writing part 3 just for the sake of NaNoWriMo, just to plow ahead with the words, because I want them to be decent words that go in the correct direction. I have been wanting to write a novella for a while, mainly because the fantasy romance is supposed to be a novella. And I just kind of want to write something short and manageable again, like See at the End of Everything. It's kind of like a compromise between short stories and novels, because I kind of want to write a short story, but also any idea I touch, my brain is like, what if I made it 500,000 words long of a series? Novellas are this nice middle range where they're short enough to wrap my brain around in kind of like one sitting, not one sitting, but in a short amount of time. And people still like reading them. I can still sell them. You know, I just sent out the ebooks for the See at the End of Everything yesterday. Oh gosh, scary. Bite-sized novels. You know, I like novellas a lot. Evidently, since the entire series of been Dying Starlight's novellas. Still, I've been like flip-flopping on ideas. I have a lot of ideas for things and not enough plot to go with them. You know, the details of the plots in my books are like the least important part to me. I know how that sounds, but the most important part is the characters and the character interactions, and then I have to step back and go, oh wait, I need something logical and progressive as a plot to hang this character stuff on. So I have a lot of little ideas. I'm like, I could write a novella out of this. And this is funny because last year I did this with the See at the End of Everything. I sat down and went, I'm gonna rewrite this and turn it into a thing. And I did. It must be like the winter months or something. My brain is restless. But I have this old short story. With all of my short fiction, I either got it published, decided it was bad, or published it myself in the short story collection. But there's like 1 or 2. They're like 6,000-ish word short stories. And one of them, good concept, fantasy, bad execution. I think I submitted it one place and went, nyeh. The other one's like a sci-fi thing. Good concept, good execution, but I could probably rewrite it at a line, oh my gosh, my brain today. I could rewrite it at a sentence level as a short story and send it out somewhere, but I don't really know if I'm gonna or when I'm gonna do that. I should do that though. I'm not gonna do that now. But the fantasy thing, it needed to be a little bit longer than it was. It was 6,000-ish words. And so I went, well, I have the plot. Long story short, I'm gonna turn that into a little novella. Since I already had like 90% of the plot there, I just needed to fill in some of the gaps. It took me a couple days of outlining it, a couple days of like mentally trying to find the correct tone and mood for it, and I think I got it. And so that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of NaNoWriMo, which is 4 more days. Basically, I'm writing a short story / novella for the last couple of days of NaNoWriMo because I still want to get, I'm so close to the word count, you know, I'm at like 40,600 words, but at least I'm staying on top of things. I don't want to just be editing, I want to be drafting something. Even if it wasn't NaNoWriMo, I would kind of want to be drafting something. And I'm also editing in Dying Starlight right now. I finished line editing the first 2 novellas. I just started number 3 today. I think that's where I'm at. I should do social media. I don't want to do social media, but I have to. It's Wednesday, November 29th. 2 days to go. 1 day to go, but we have today's writing and tomorrow's writing to go. I've got 5,000 words left, which is fine. I did 3,300 words yesterday, so 2,500 today and tomorrow, or a little bit more today and a little bit less tomorrow. I got this. But I am working on that little novella. That's the fantasy romance. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's 6,100 words right now. weird that this didn't exist like 3 days ago. I think I will actually make it a novella. I was worried there for a second that I was gonna make it too long, but like given where I'm at in the plot, based on the word count, I might actually make it a correct length, and I think I can actually add in some details I was hoping to add in without ruining the pacing or anything. I'm just very stream of consciousness writing this. You know, I don't have much of a plan. I vaguely outlined in my head because as I was figuring this out, it did change from the original plot. So like I outlined sort of in my head, and then I started to outline it, and I was just kind of stuck at the outlining phase. And I didn't want to outline it. So I went, who needs outlines? I'll just do what I usually do when I write short stories or novellas and just write the darn thing. And it's going fine. It's going slower than my usual writing pace. Actually, I think it took me like 2.5 hours to write 3,300 words yesterday. That's not that bad. Where am I? Oh, I didn't write down what I did on the 27th. What did I do on the 27th? Right, it's 1,500 words. I think that took me an hour. So yeah, I got an even 5,000 left to do. This is what we got. It's messy. It's great. Oh, everything finally came in for the Kickstarter. Actually, not everything. Most everything. I'm gonna get started on shipping several hundred books out before I go and order the last, like the special editions of Under the Earth, because I should get rid of some of the boxes before I do that, and not very many people ordered the Under the Earth ones, so I can like wait a week or two, you know? So yeah, I gotta write for a couple hours today. Even if I just write 1,000 words an hour, which is slow for me, that's like 5 hours worth of writing. Technically, I could do that today if I keep up with where I'm going on this story, but I'm probably not gonna do 5K today. Friday, December 1st. Did I do NaNoWriMo? Yes, I did. The more accurate question is, did I win NaNoWriMo? And also, yes, I did. So, like, 3 days were left in the month, and I had about 10K left to do. 9K, I don't know. I had like 9 or 10,000 words left to do, and it was just close enough that I wasn't gonna give up, but just far away enough that it was annoying. Was I annoyed about it the last 3 days? Yes. Did I hit the 50K? Yes. I ended up with 50,200 words for the month. On Tuesday, I did 3,300 words. Wednesday, I did 3,000 words. And yesterday, I did 2,200 words. It's so weird because this novella didn't exist last week. And it's now 11,300 words. That's just such a weird thing. I think it's about halfway done. I think I'm actually gonna keep this a novella, and I am as stunned as any of you. Alright, as far as the comic goes, I have done the thumbnail sketches up to page 9, so that's going well. But that has its own blog, so I don't really need to talk about it. I am halfway through editing in Dying Starlight 3, which is a little bit more ahead of schedule. I don't remember what I did as far as editing chapters. I know I only edited 1 chapter yesterday, because my brain was just done. Yesterday, 1 chapter. 2 chapters, 2 chapters, 2 chapters, 0 chapters, 3 chapters, 3 chapters. You know, I got a lot of it edited, and I just have to continue on with that now that it's December. How is it the end of the year? Anyway, I have lots of stuff to do today. More editing. I'm going to reread what I have on this novella right now, because I think it's a little funky, and I need to put my finger on why it's funky and fix it before I continue. Work on the comic. I gotta listen to my audiobook for the See at the End of Everything while I package some books for the Kickstarter, because I'm a little bit behind on listening to the audiobook. It's lovely. She's fantastic. I love the way she narrates my characters, but I keep getting behind on listening to it. I'm too all over the place to just sit and listen to it, so I have to be doing something else while I'm sitting and listening to it, and usually that is art, because it has to be, whatever I'm doing has to not take up too much brain power so I can also actually pay attention to the audiobook. So I keep like forgetting to listen to it while I'm doing art, but then not listening to it while I do anything else. So I think that's all. I don't remember anything I said this month. But yeah, I feel like I accomplished a lot. You know, I finished part 2 of the fantasy romance, and I've started and finished like half of a novella. that I wasn't even planning on at the beginning of the month. That's not bad. I've also done a lot of the comic. I've done a lot of edit. I feel like I've done a lot of stuff this month. But also I feel like I haven't done enough stuff this month. I'm just gonna wrap this up here. Next vlog will probably be about the novella and or editing the fantasy romance and starting it again. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. It just hit me that it's December and I need to both evaluate where I am on the goals for the year and also make goals for next year, and I should plan to film a vlog for that, and I still need to film the Q&A vlog. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, giving it a thumbs up and a subscribe really helps me out. You can still grab signed copies of my books. I have no idea how long I'm leaving the backer kit store up. Once it goes down, they'll be up on Etsy, and you can get them anywhere else. Links are in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to know how NaNoWriMo went for you guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!